hold on to that thought. One stock that's moved to the high point of the day while the Nifty's moved to the day's low is Bajaj Auto. And the reason is they're going to be considering a share buyback on January 8th. Well, Sonia, tell us more about this. The news has just hit the exchanges. Explains why the stock has spiked up.
Oh, absolutely. And, we don't know the amount or the price. It's not mentioned in the press release, but we do understand that there could be a buyback of around 5,000 crores that the company could announce via the tender route. There's no confirmation on the price or the size, etc. But as you said, there will be a board meeting on the 8th of January at 4:30 p.m. That's on Monday, to decide more about the price and the size. Now, if you remember, last time around, the company had done a buyback. It was in June of 2022. There was a lot of back and forth at that point in time. First, they announced the buyback, and then they deferred it, and finally, the buyback price was about 4,600 rupees up to 2,500 crores. This time around, we understand it could be higher than that. In fact, Rajiv Bajaj of Bajaj Auto is joining in this afternoon to talk about that. Rajiv, Happy New Year to you, and thank you for joining us on the show. If you could just confirm to us, of course, the buyback has been announced, but if you could just explain what the rationale behind this buyback is.
Hi, Sonia. Happy New Year to all of you. Although I must say that 2023 was treating us so well that we have reluctantly crossed into 2024. Yes, we were supposed to notify the exchanges today that we will be doing a buyback, and the board will meet on Monday at 4:30 to decide upon the details. I heard you say there was a lot of back and forth the last time. I want to say that is not entirely true, because we only had a second meeting to finalize details the last time. Hopefully we don't have to do that this time. The rationale, quite frankly, is this, that as I said, we've been having an outstanding year. You've seen the results for the first half. You've seen hopefully what we've clocked in the third quarter in terms of sales from different verticals, a new record of 1.2 million vehicles sold in a quarter, in quarter three. So I can't elaborate too much because we have results later this month, but obviously we've had a record quarter. At the same time, we have over time re-engineered our business such that, despite the fact that we keep investing in new technologies, products and markets, as you've seen with the Pulsar, KTM, Triumph, Chetak, electric three-wheeler, Brazil, etc. But, like was the case 31st of March last year, we will again end up at close to 20,000 crores of cash this year. And, I don't think it's smart to sit on all that money. So one could give it away plain Jane dividend, or one can do it a little more efficiently, let's say, through a buyback. So I think it's a no-brainer.
Okay, well, that's great to hear, and your shareholders are rejoicing. The stock has now moved to the highest point of trade, up 2.5%. Rajiv, I know you don't want to talk about the size, the quantum, etc., but we understand that it could be much higher than what you did the last time around. Is it fair to assume that?
Yeah, I'm really having to hold myself back from talking about it because I'm not supposed to talk about it till the board actually meets to decide on that. But yes, I can say that it would be logical that since this year is turning out to be much better than the previous and even better than what we expected at the start of the year, so certainly that would point towards a more significant buyback than we did the last time. But again, that's something the board has to decide on Monday.
Okay. You're also sitting on a huge cash pile, as you said, and there are different ways to sort of give back, right? One of them, of course, is the buyback route. But anything else? I mean, what is the plan that you have with the cash on your books, say, over the medium term?
As my father would always say, he was very happy to keep the cash under his pillow every night. He said he slept very well on that basis. But no, more seriously, we are obviously investing strongly in the business. If I may elaborate, you've seen the entire Pulsar lineup being refreshed and the impact in the marketplace. Rakesh spoke with you all day before to say that in all probability we have wrested the number one position in the 125cc plus segment. So other than the 100cc motorcycle segment as far as domestic sales are concerned, and I think he's still awaiting the last bit of industry information on that, but we are in number one position there in all probability. We've invested in a new plant for KTM in Chakan, which is on stream now, so we've needed to invest in that. The Chetak has moved up very smartly to clearly over 10,000 vehicles a month, so there's a lot of investment in that, in technology and in facilities. The electric three-wheeler we launched in May last year. We are close to, I think, leadership in the next, or in this quarter, as far as e-autos are concerned. And while the export business is still flattish around 140,000 a month, but, we are investing in markets, most importantly Brazil. And, so we are doing what we need to do for the business. But yes, it's a very profitable business, at 20% EBITDA, as you have seen in Q1, Q2. The exchange rate is very favorable. So that explains the excess cash.
Okay, it's a great position to be in, I guess. Enviable position, Rajiv. Hi, good afternoon. Surabhi here. Season's greetings to you. Wish you a happy new year. So you mentioned, it's only the tax bit, right? The tax efficiency, because if you give out dividends and they're taxable at the slab rate in the hands of shareholders, and the buyback perhaps is a little more efficient. Is that the only reason that you're looking at a buyback?
Well, that's obviously a very, very important reason. And for whatever salutary effect that may have in terms of earnings per share, etc., obviously no single buyback like the individual rung of a ladder gets you anywhere. But, if you do it progressively over 5-10 years, then, you find yourself in a different position at the end of that process. So I think, or rather, I would like to believe that the board would conclude that doing this is better, more efficient in the short term and in the long term than just a plain Jane dividend.
Your shareholders are absolutely loving every bit of what you're saying, Rajiv. The stock is surging as we speak. It absolutely is. Yes. I think 3.5% right now since we started this chat. 20,000 crores of cash. I know you can't talk about how much you plan to give back to shareholders right now. We'll have those details only after the board meeting is over. But just when you look at the business and you're looking at the investments also that you would be making over the next 1 to 2 years, give us some sense on the utilization. How much will go in the business organically? Would you look at more inorganic? And also a sense of the blended capacity utilization level across the plants that you would be operating at now.
Okay, so let me go in reverse order there. I think our capacity is around 500 to 550,000 vehicles a month. The reason I say approximately is because it depends on the mix, the blend. I would like to believe that, I just said that we had a record quarter of 1.2 million vehicles sold in Q3. Of course, that's the peak quarter because of the festive season. But I would like to believe, from what I know of, our product plans and sales and marketing plans for this quarter, that we can repeat the festive quarter in Q4 as well. So I'd like to think that sales every month will start with a 4. And I can tell you the breakup roughly. I'm hopeful that the domestic motorcycle business between Bajaj, KTM and Triumph should be close to 200,000 motorcycles, driven primarily by the Pulsar. I heard you say earlier that the market rally has pressed the pause button, but remember, there is no pause button on a Pulsar. So Pulsar will keep going. We have many launches planned for this quarter under that brand. I'm hopeful that Chetak will cross over into 15,000 territory per month in this quarter. I'm hopeful we will maintain the momentum on our domestic three-wheeler sales at around 40,000 a month. And I think exports will still remain stable at about 140,000 plus minus a month. So I think all of that would add up to about 400,000 a month. January may be a little weaker, March may be a little stronger as we head into the marriage season. So that's one. And to just respond to your previous questions, it is best that I share with you what we have done in the past. One, typically our capex every year is only about 1,000 crores. When our PAT is now looking like it's going to be, more in the region of 7,000-8,000 crores. So obviously, we are generating far more than we need to invest. And finally, our dividend policy, which is a public document, clearly states that whenever we have in excess of 15,000 crores sitting on our books, we would like to give away anything more than 70% of that through a combination of dividend, buyback, etc. And last year we did give away, I think we gave away more than 100%. So I think we're going to just simply stay true to the dividend policy.
Okay, this is actually the most optimistic I've heard you in a while, Rajiv. So I don't know why you're coming.
Talked to me in a long time.
I haven't spoken to you, but I've heard you, right, in the recent interviews. So this is the most optimistic. And I don't know why you're complaining that 2023 was good, so you don't want to move into 2024. 2024 could just be better than the previous year.
You know, and this is a big change, Sonia, from what we heard Rajiv, and Mr. Sharma when they joined in. They're very cautious. Suddenly, it appears they're revving up the engine a little bit.
Yeah, they are for sure. But okay, can you leave us with one more data point on the market share, especially in the 125cc plus segment? Because the market is growing there, your own share is picking up, and 70% of your business comes from there. So what's the latest?
So the reason Rakesh didn't share that is because we still don't know the data of one major competitor. But from what we know, and then we've hazarded a guess about that one company, our estimate is that our 125cc segment market share has moved up very sharply to about 32%. In the Pulsar segment, which is the 150-250, we're probably closer to 42%. And in the 125cc plus, where we believe that we may now be in a leadership position in the domestic market, we would probably be about 35%. Now, that may be 34 or 36, depending on what we get exactly by the end of the day or tomorrow morning.
Okay, all right, Rajiv, thanks so much for joining. And Rajiv, before you go, I want to tell you that I've been riding the Triumph. We, as a family, we buy a lot of bikes, and we bought 2 Triumphs in our family, in my family building that we stay in. And I ride it almost every second day. It's very, very good. Take care of your shareholders. But if you can come up with some bigger bikes as well, now, even the customers will be very, very happy. So shareholders will be happy with this dividend payout buyback. Come up with some bigger bikes with the kind of cash balance you all have. We'll be very, very happy. But congrats, and we look forward to further details on this buyback as well.
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you for that homework. And pass on my commiserations to Anuj for his Harley Davidson.
Maybe all 3 of you can go for a ride together sometime,
Why not?
I'll take them for a ride, don't worry.
Okay. All right.
Just don't take your shareholders for a ride, Rajiv.
They're already on a ride. Look at that stock. The shareholders are loving this ride. When we started the conversation, I think the stock was just 1% up or thereabouts.
Yeah,
as we say bye to Rajiv, the stock is soaring, 5% up. What a move on Bajaj Auto in anticipation of that buyback. 20,000 crore rupees in the bank on the books, and Rajiv saying that the board will come up with the specifics on Monday.
And I think, through the course of the interview, just the fact that the sentiment was so positive, he was very optimistic about demand trends, very optimistic about, he also said the 35% market share in the 125cc plus segment, they're market leaders in that segment, which is picking up a lot. I think all of that is working very well. So, of course, there's a buyback on one hand, but the growth in the business and the body language of the management.
When a manufacturing company tells you they need to invest only about 1,000 crores every year, they're getting 7,000 crores in profit in that same year. It's just saying so much about the, just the nature of that business, the quality of that business.
Well, let's get back to the markets though, guys.
Thank you for watching CNBC TV18. For all the latest news and updates, do follow us on our social media platforms.